Hey everybody, welcome back. So nice to see you. So last time, do you remember, we were talking about the water cycle. We talked about how the sun can heat up the water and how the water will evaporate and then it can accumulate again back in the sky. We called it condensates. There's condensation in the sky, becomes clouds, and then when the clouds get full of rain, they rain or they snow or they sleet or hail, depending on what the temperature is and where it is. And we're going to learn a little bit more about that too. But since we're learning about the water cycle, that goes right into clouds. Aren't they so interesting? There's so much to know. So I wanted to start teaching everybody a little bit more about these clouds. So the first thing I wanted you to know is that in the sky, there are 3 layers that clouds can live in. The first layer, are you ready? It's very complicated, you're not going to believe it. It's the low layer. And then there's the middle layer, and then you guessed it, there's the high layer. There's special words for those, which we'll learn another time. But for right now, just know there's the low, the middle, and the high. And there's 3 main clouds. There's a lot of other kinds of clouds, but they come from these main 3. You ready? The first kind of cloud is called cumulus. And those are the big, puffy ones, the ones that you usually see in the sky that make shapes. All of the names of the clouds come from a really old language called Latin. And Latin is a really, really important language, and a lot of the words that we still use, like we're talking about now for the clouds, come from Latin, which is so cool. So in Latin, cumulus means heap or pile. So that's kind of what cumulus clouds look like, a big pile or heap of, like, I don't know, cotton balls or something like that. And those are really, really nice. So then the second cloud that we're going to learn about is called stratus. So in Latin, that means layer or blanket. And that means that when we usually see them outside, they are kind of long and flat, and they take up a lot more space. They're not as big and puffy and piled up like cumulus ones. They're a little bit more even and spread out. And sometimes they can be across the whole sky, and we see those sometimes. And then the last type of cloud, are you ready for it? It's called cirrus. And that cloud, in Latin, cirrus means hair-like. And if you've ever seen a horse tail, it's kind of like that. That's kind of what people thought they looked like a long time ago, and of course, they still do. They're wispy. And they look very, very beautiful in the sky. So those are the 3 kinds. Let's go over them again. What's that big puffy one called again that looks like a big pile of cotton balls or big shapes? Cumulus. Good. And then what's the kind that are more flat and take up a little bit more space? Stratus. Good. And the last one is, they're wispy like horse tails. Cirrus. Good. So we're going to learn a little bit more about those another time. But for today, what I want you to try doing, first take a look outside and see what kind of clouds you think there might be today. Are there any clouds in the sky today? Are there one type of cloud? Or maybe is there a combination? Are there more than one of them that you see in the sky today? So first, take a look outside. And second, I would like you to please draw each one of those clouds the way that you feel you can best. I'll give you some pictures and then label them. So you'll just be drawing the clouds and labeling just to practice with those new words. All right? I'm so excited to teach you some more about clouds. All right,